Hey everyone, it's Monday, which means Model Showcase Mondays. And as you're probably well aware, this is the second model showcase of the day. So if you haven't checked out my other one already, please go check it out. It's pretty cool too. And as you'll notice, it is not 40K right now. It is a Warmachine model showcase. Therefore, I will be doing at least, and I mean at least, 2 tutorials this week. One being my Grey Knights, which is my other model showcase, and my second one being a Warmachine Cygnar Stormclad painting tutorial. And as you can see here, I think he turned out really nicely. I'm really happy with this model. A couple side notes. Stormclads are really heavy pieces of metal. If you ever need to weigh down a lot of papers, I recommend a Stormclad when you're not using them. The only challenge when painting him was constantly using his angle. I was always afraid that he'd fall off his base, and because he's a giant piece of metal, I used several thin layers of a satin varnish on him to give him a little bit of a shine, but also to keep him safe, because me and metal models just don't mix very well. I look at them and they scratch. So, oh yeah. And as you'll probably tell, I'll just zoom in a little bit. I very quickly, and I mean very quickly, I got this model a little while ago. It just took me a while to paint him. I magnetized him, but the magnets shifted for some reason between when I magnetized him and when I painted him. But so you can adjust his arms if you want to any pose, which is cool. Also in Warmachine, you have the ability to take out the left and right arms. So it'd be kind of cool that if it happens, I'll just remove his arm, and that way I'll always remember that he's, missing an arm for that turn or something. But overall, yeah, I think he turned out really nicely. I hope you guys can see it through the camera, but I used a lot of, in my previous Warmachine tutorial, I used a lot of edge highlighting, and this one I decided to just do layers. So I tried to build up a gradient from a very light blue at the top, which you can see there. That's not actually the light hitting it, that's the actual color, all the way to the center of the model where it's very dark. So I tried to do that along the entire set of armor, various shades of Cygnar base coat all the way up to Cygnar highlight plus a lot of white. But yeah, he turned out really nicely, I think. I really like Stormclad. It's just taken me a while to paint him up, and in my opinion he's probably one of the best 10-point warjacks. I know 10 points is expensive for a warjack, but I think he's worth it. I think he's one of the best 10-point warjacks in the game. If you guys disagree with me, leave a comment in the comment section below, but that's what I feel. I really like the way his shield turned out and his sword. They both turned out, I think, pretty cool, as well as all the jewels on him. So I'll just turn him around. Actually, I should probably turn around. I'll show you the banner. So I'll zoom in on his banner. Pretty straightforward stuff. I really like the way the jewels turned out, as I mentioned. I think they turned out pretty nicely. And for his banner as well, I think it turned out pretty good. I maybe should have done a little bit cleaner of a shading on that one little part, but overall I have to say I'm pretty happy with it. I think it turned out really well, and as you can see, there's a really nice gradient of colors working way outwards to the light colors and all the inwards towards the dark colors. I really like the way it turned out. So I'll zoom out here. Turn to the side to show you guys the golds. I did use a combination of Privateer Press P3 and GW colors, and I might have actually used a Vallejo in there as well. I'll have to double check before I make my tutorial. But I think the combinations turned out really nicely. I used primarily just the Cygnar faction colors. You buy the box set of all the colors. The only thing is, the colors don't include metallics, and I only had a couple of the Warmachine P3 metallics, so I had to substitute a couple times. But I'll put those in my tutorials and show the difference, the different companies' colors you can use for the same model. Now, him from the back. Pretty self-standard, as I said, and you can see it once again, the really nice gradient I did. Or in my opinion, it's nice, but I really like the way the gradient turned out on the back of his banner as well, as you can see there. And yeah, I think what I really like about Warmachine models is they tend to be really round and really just clean. They're smooth and clean, and they're not very hard to paint. They don't have the most detail, but I am actually kind of a fan of that. I think they look really nice the way they are. However, Privateer Press people, if you're out there, feel free to make a plastic version of Stormclad and Thunderhead, because both of them are just giant pieces of metal. And by metal I mean, you know, the pewter, and I'm not a big fan of that. I like light models that you can easily carry around without worrying about breaking. This guy weighs a ton, as do a lot of the old Warjacks, as you're probably well aware. So that's the end of my model showcase. So definitely expect a tutorial for this guy on Thursday, which from now on is going to be, I guess I'm going to call it something like This Ain't 40K Thursdays, where I'm going to specifically put up a tutorial or something about another game that is not 40K. I'm going to keep 40K to Fridays, and on Thursdays I'm going to focus on a game that's not 40K. So that way I give the other games. There's a lot of really good games out there. Warmachine, Hordes, Fantasy, Infinity, and maybe even one day Malifaux or some of those games. I like to give them a chance and focus on them as well. So I hope that's okay with you viewers. And this concludes my second model showcase of the day, and I hope you guys like it. And until next time, this is Jay saying, happy painting everyone.